Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Dr. Sharon Ingham, and I'm from HH Business Services, and our address is 907 Spring Hill Avenue, Suites 40516, Mobile, Alabama 36604. Thank you for the opportunity this morning.
Hold on, just 1 minute. Leroy, can you understand what she's saying for the recording? Are you listening? You got it? Okay.
It's
Just want
kind
to
of
be sure.
it's kind of muffled for me. I don't understand.
Okay. Well, I've been vaccinated, but I just.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. What I wanted to speak to you about this morning, so I know I have 5 minutes, so I'm going to speak very fast. I represent a large number of businesses that really have some concerns regarding, one, the county property tax. They're concerned about after having to pay the Mobile they have to pay to get the Mobile County license, then they have to pay their sales tax and other fees with the city, et cetera. And now they're being asked to pay for property tax, for personal property tax on items in their stores like computers and chairs, cash register, et cetera. And their concern is they've already paid taxes on it. Why are they having to turn around and have to pay property tax on something that they've already paid taxes on? Number two is regarding the annexation. For the past 3 months, I discovered that Sims had been annexing parts of Mobile County that included a lot of our stores, especially in the 8 Mile area, and our stores, other businesses and homeowners was not even aware of it. I have reached out to two of the county commissioners here regarding this issue, and it's still an ongoing issue with us dealing with the city of Sims, the city of Pritchard, trying to determine exactly who has jurisdiction with these stores. And we found that this annexation has gone back as far as 2011, some of them is 2016. So some of our clients have been paying 5% taxes to one municipality when they should have been paying 2% taxes in another municipality, if in fact it is that they deem that they are in the Sims annexation. Our problem is the Sims can't provide us with any documentation that even clearly says legally where they've annexed. They've told us that all the person has to do is sign a petition, they come before the city council and they approve it. And so I just have we have an issue with that because we can't just arbitrarily just start changing today is sales tax day, the 20th. So we're in a dilemma as to whether or not we paying taxes to the county, to Pritchard, to Sims, to Mobile, to whom, because of this annexation issue. And I was told by, I think Commissioner Lovegood, that this annexation really doesn't have anything to do with the Mobile County. I just want y'all to be made aware of it, that because of my clients are out in the county jurisdiction, this has become a huge issue. And my one particular client at 5600 A Lot Road, the old Dearmans, which is now M&S Quick Stop, they have a drainage issue there. We've been dealing with this for over a year. Now CM says call Mobile County Public Works. We call Mobile Public Works. They said no, call the state. We called the state. The state called us back and said no, it's Mobile County Public Works. This is the dilemma that a lot of our clients are facing that's in the Mobile County jurisdiction. And they are getting very frustrated with that, businesses, because they're not getting any services that they feel like that they're paying for, or that their taxes should be, they say, when paying taxes, we're getting nothing in return. So I need some assistance on that. And finally, the Mobile County Health Department, once again, on the county, their licenses are being held up for weeks, sometimes months, just to get a food permit. We can't get liquor license. We have one now. We've been waiting for a month. M&S Quick Stop. They can't get liquor license because of the food permit. They can't get They can't get the EBT certification because of the food permit. They can't get licensed with the city of Mobile because of that. They're waiting weeks and weeks to come out and doing inspections, and then when they come out, they're asking for exorbitant things that need to be fixed, which they just approved these stores last year with a 91. Same store, hadn't moved, been there 20 years. Now they come back this year. They need all these things changed, and it's just causing a lot of undue financial burden for our clients. So if you all could address that and assist us in any kind of way, our clients would be definitely grateful to you rather.
Dr. Ingram, I know you've touched on a number of different issues, and our staff is taking some notes here. I think some of them have to do with the health department, some with the revenue department. I did receive a call, my office received a call about the taxation issue between the city of Sims and Pritchard and so forth. And I did bring that to the attention of our administration to check into that. And I was of the understanding that had been, the issue, they were in the process, if it hadn't been resolved, they were in the process of resolving that. Glenn, would you speak to that?
Yeah, I talked to you, Dr. Ingram. I asked you to, Mary Calhoun is the finance director for the city of Sims. Did you ever make contact with her?
Yes, I did. I met with her, and then conveniently last Thursday, the client started receiving letters from Sims, now telling them that they were under the Sims municipality. So that does not, but that still doesn't negate the fact that they've paid taxes for all these years, 5% to Pritchard, and Sims, you know, saying, well, we want it, but this particular client, they said they was going to waive it and just let them start fresh in January, but it's more than just one client.
Well, I think if there are additional clients involved, you know, that needs to be brought to the attention of
Mary Calhoun.
Mary Calhoun, and they need to adjudicate that, and I would assume probably in the same way, but that they, you know, they can't fix it until they know about it, and so they have to call Mary Calhoun with the city of Sims, and they will take care of that.
Well, who can't fix it? The Sims?
No,
I mean-
if you call if you call Mary Calhoun, she will address those matters. I already talked to the city of Pritchard. They have conceded that, yes, in this case, we were only dealing with the business that was applying for the beer and wine license.
Yes, sir.
We weren't dealing with any other businesses. So if you call Mary Calhoun, tell her your situation and the number of businesses that are under you, she can address that.
I have met with her, and we are compiling a list of businesses to give to her. But subsequently, businesses that are not even that we don't service have been calling me also, like a funeral home out there. And the issue is that it's unfair to them for someone to come up in 2022 to say, oh, well, since 2011, you were under Sims, and they didn't know it. And that affects their trash pickup. I mean, it affects a whole lot of things, just even with the homeowners out there.
I think there is a willingness to address the problem and try to be fair and fix it. But like I said, unless the businesses contact Mary Calhoun, you know, nothing can be done. So they just need to make that contact with her so that she can address it.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
So the county health department is a separate entity. It actually is a state agency with a county office.
Okay.
And so whatever issues that are arising there would have to be dealt with directly with the health department. We don't have any oversight. The state law tells us how much money to pay them a year, and that's the extent of our influence with what happens there. And on the assessment of property tax, personal taxes for furniture and all of that, all businesses in the state are required to pay it. That's a state law. It's not anything the county established. All we do, all the revenue commissioner and license commissioner do here in Mobile County, like the rest of the state, is collected, but it's assessed by virtue of state law. And everybody has to pay it. When I was in private practice, I had to pay for the computer, the phone, the chairs, the tables that were inside my office.
I understand that, but now you said, I guess I can address with the state, but the businesses are concerned about the fact that if I've already paid taxes on the computer, why am I paying taxes again to the county for the same product?
Okay, so that, the state law says that you must pay whatever you maintain as your business property, you must pay taxes on that personal I understand their argument, but that's an argument, that would have to be changed by the state legislature.
Okay.
That's where that law emanates. It's not anything that the Mobile County Commission assessed.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Did you have, you had some questions about some public works?
Yes.
Where was that at? I would like for Neil to maybe address those. That is something I think that if it's in the county, that is something we could address for you, but I just,
Right, we'll have to make sure it's in, county right of way,
Right.
state right of way, block road.
They've already called us with it. Sims had us call Mobile County. We called the Public Works. Public Works called me and said, no, that's the state. The state called and says, no, Lot Road would be under the state, but that particular area right there, is Mobile Public Works. So that drain has been clogged for a year, and we've been trying to get some assistance. We've just been going back and forth between the state and the county.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we need to go out and look at it again, because it's at the intersection of Spice Pond, Sims.
Yes.
Block Road. It's a matter of where it is.
Right,
actually,
right.
whose
There's,
right of way it's inside of.
sometimes there is confusion because, like, these areas come so close together of right-of-way responsibility, but we can check to make sure.
I'll double check.
Okay.
Bill, if you find out that it's actually the state, would you talk to the state and just say, please don't tell people that we're responsible for this, because the way we see it, it belongs to you? And try to get you out of the middle of it. if
Thank
we
you.
can. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right,
All right, have a
being
great
here
day.
today.
Thank you. We have no more speakers signed up this morning?
Okay. Mr. Hodge.
Okay, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Number one, approve claim list. Number two, hold a public hearing so any citizen of the county shall be given an opportunity to be heard for or against any item related to statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance report. Number three, approve appropriation contract with Boy Scouts of America Mobile Council in the amount of $15,000 from District 1 funds to purchase technology equipment. Number four, approve appropriation contract with Taylor White Elementary School PTO in the amount of $20,000 from District 2 funds for a digital sign. Number six, approve appropriation contract with McDavid Jones
did
Elementary.
we miss one there, number
Yeah, we
four?
missed Tanner Williams Elementary. I think we just skipped over that one.
I was just checking to see if you were.
You just,
We're paying attention.
there,
You're paying
we
attention.
passed.
I'm sorry. Number four, approve appropriation contract with Tanner Williams Elementary School PTO in the amount of $17,378 from District 2 funds for technology lab equipment. Number five, approve appropriation contract with Taylor White Elementary School PTO in the amount of $20,000 from District 2 funds for digital sign. Number six, approve appropriation contract with McDavid Jones Elementary School Booster Club in the amount of $19,139 from District 2 funds for student chairs. Number seven, approve appropriation contract with Clark Shaw Magnet School PTA in the amount of $20,000 from District 2 funds for technology equipment. And number eight, approve appropriation contract with J.E. Turner Elementary School PTO in the amount of $16,839 from District 2 funds for a portable sound system, breakout, EDU, subscription, and technology equipment. Number nine, approve appropriation contract with Allentown Elementary School Children First PTO in the amount of $15,000 from District 2 funds for 2 wheelchair-accessible swing sets. Number 10, authorize sub-recipient agreement with the City of Beulah Battery for the term of January 24, 2022 through June 30th, 2023, in the amount up to $100,000 of Community Development Block Grant funds to provide for removal of spot blight. Number 11, approve contract with West, a Thompson Reuters business, to renew library subscription for legal department, cost of $137.58 per month for a total amount of $1,650.96. Number 12, approve application for transfer of retail beer, retail table wine, alcohol license for Priushi Operating LLC for Black Bear C-Store. Number 13, approve application for retail beer, retail table wine, alcohol license of M&S Food Mart for Sims Quick Stop. Number 14, approve contract with MTI Business Solutions to provide employee training services for a period of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. 15, approve purchase of the parcels of real property located on and around Burnwood Road for boat ramp and public access in the amount of $1,250,000 plus closing costs from Comesa Fund, and to authorize Commission President to sign all documentation related to the transaction.
Where's Burn Road? Is
Yes, if you're heading south on Dolphin Island Parkway, right before you get to, Fowl River Bridge, and it's a road that cuts in and comes around. It's a dead end that ends at the mouth of, Fowl River and Mobile Bay.
And so it'll give us boat access to Fowl River?
Yes.
So, so the boat ramp is already there? And
No,
it's already.
well, no, there isn't a boat ramp there. It's just a piece of property, and dating back, I think, when Commissioner Carl was in office, this piece of property has been sought after by the commission for years and just couldn't get the family to agree to sell it. And, I've been working on it for a year now, and I was finally able to get all three family members to agree to sell the property. And, I'm pretty excited about the piece of property. I think it's gonna, create not only a boat ramp, but possibly some other, again, maybe a little park there, pavilions and things of that nature. It's a really nice piece of property right on the mouth
What
of the Fowl
size is
River.
it?
Jay, do you know the exact size of the property?
I don't remember.
Peanut, I don't- it's a good I think it's 3 parcels.
It's
Four.
3 parcels, 2 on the back, out the north side of Fowl River, and on the other side, another arguably 2 parcels.
And it's a deep water access. Now, there's not a boat ramp there, but there won't be any, requirement of dredging there. In the past, it was a marina. And, I think there may have been at one time a bar there and a gas, not a gas station, but maybe a fuel, tanks there for boats and things of that nature.
We're gonna have a survey in phase 1, with environmental assessment, which is the only, we think, 2 conditions necessary to see if it meets what we need to meet. Title's good. It's gonna be at least 30, 45 days before we have those reports back. Do you wanna add something, Tina?
Well, sorry, I don't know the number of acres off the top of my head, but it is at the mouth of Fowl River in Mobile Bay, really very close to the navigation channel, and it is probably one of the best boat ramp access points in Mobile County, so.
Sounds like it from the location.
I would say it's roughly 5 acres.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So it's big enough to do something else
yes,
there?
yes.
Okay.
And it's with the exception of 2 parcels that's on Burnwood, the whole property is on the water. I mean, so you could build a bulkhead and, maybe a boardwalk. I mean, it's a really nice piece of property that I think that, when I was made aware of it, I really, put a lot of pressure on the, real estate agent for the family to get them to finally agree to sell the property to the county, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tina.
Number 16, recommend approval of change order number 1 with Star Service, Inc. of Mobile for North Tower boiler upgrades and vent replacement. If implemented, the change will decrease the contract amount by $21,125. The new contract total will be $168,769. Number 17, recommend approval of change order number 1 with Star Service, Inc. of Mobile for remove and replace of 2 Raypack boilers at Metro Jail Building 1200. If implemented, the change will decrease the contract amount by $4,000. The new contract total will be $33,875. 18, approved contract with Mary B. Austin Elementary in the amount of $20,000 from District 2 funds for technology equipment, classroom activity carpet, and the Ron Clark Professional Development Workshop. Number 19, approved purchase of a 1.85 acre parcel of real property off Lee's Lane, contiguous to Mobile County Sportsplex for $80,000 plus closing costs from District 2 Capital Improvement Fund, and to authorize Commission President to sign all documentation related to the transaction pending legal review.
I think we're pretty close on that, survey's done, title's good. There's a Lamar outdoor advertising sign on it, expect to hear back from Lamar on those particulars. We may be with Commission President as early as late next week to sign it off.
This, we refer to this as the triangle piece, and it will provide parking for the aquatic center.
And that's the appraised value through MD Bell. So they've agreed to sell it to us for appraised value.
Number 20, authorize Mont McDonald to act as an agent of Mobile County Commission in matters pertaining to the City of Mobile Planning Commission application for the property located at 355 North Ann Street, Mobile, Alabama, 36603. 21, approve appointment of Darby
Eulery.
Eulery as District 2 Administrator, effective February 2nd, 2022. 22, approve revisions to County Commission to travel policy to include as reimbursable expenses those expensed for self-parking, valet parking, and tolls, and to clarify wording for tips as non-reimbursable. 23, consider authorizing acceptance and execution of all associated documents for subaward grant agreement, amendment number 1, in the amount of $2,033,041, with no match required from Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for a grant for the project to redevelop Beulah Battery City Docks. 24, consider approving contract amendment number 1 with Moffett and Nickel, Inc. to provide engineering and design services for redevelop Beulah Battery City Docks. 25, approve contract with Election Systems and Software LLC for 1-year contract for election-related services, including but not limited to paper, electronic ballot layout, programming services, and voice file services for the 2022 election cycle for probate court. 26, there's a small correction here. Approve professional services contract with Renee Downs doing business as Downs Video Production in the amount up to $45,000 from District 1 funds for up to 25 interviews and completion of an oral history project for the Avenue exhibit.
What was the correction, did you say?
Correction, it says an amount of $45,000.
Oh, up to,
It says
okay, I
up
got you.
to
And it should be 45,600.
45,600. Thank you. 27, consider taking the following action on bids. In the third item, there has been a change of wording and the amount. So again, it's the third item down. It should read, approved to purchase materials only for the Mobile Metro Jail smoke purge ventilation system upgrade from the current purchasing cooperative contract, U.S. Communities, Train US Inc., doing business as Train, for the amount of $74,661.
74,600.
664?
74,661.
Oh, 661.
See, but it's already corrected on mine.
You know
Never
why we
mind.
have these.
I'm just saying, mine already says that amount, what did y'all say?
Never mind, I said, go ahead.
I see what you're saying now.
Technology.
When-
Move along.
28, approved software renewal agreement with GoDaddy in the amount of $899.98 for standard wildcard SSL for the period of April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2024 for the County Commission. 29, approved 6-month lease agreement from the current GSA contract with William Scotsman, Inc., doing business as Will Scott, for one 48 by 12 mobile office model and one 40 by 12 toilet unit model in the amount of $33,380.20, Gamesa Public Access Master Plan Development Funding for the Cedar Point location. 30, adopt a resolution authorizing request of the county garage to dispose of certain items. 31, request the city of Creola to purchase the following surplus vehicles from the county garage for fair market value as follows. And then we have an indigent care board meeting after the meeting.
So, for this one, would you add a CDP from District 1? I think I added this right, but it may not be right, but I think it's $8,500. And this will be a CDP to City of Creola for the purchase of these vehicles.
Where did you find those?
I didn't, Mayor Nelson found them.
Oh, okay. They're not buying them from the county.
Yeah, they bought them from the county.
These were surplus vehicles, Commissioner.
Okay, because I just, okay.
So he called up and found them and,
Yeah, and called me and told me that they were available, and told me they were available, then sent the information, I sent it to Glenn, and
okay.
that's all I know.
Because I called last week looking for a truck. They said they didn't have any.
That's because they already had them
Y'all already bought
here.
them.
See, it was a piece of paper
It was
involved.
for Ballard Battery.
They beat you to the punch.
I guess they didn't get my email.
Okay. Got it. All right. Mr. KJ.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. We would ask that you consider taking the following action on the items listed below. Item 1, approve a signing contract for professional geotechnical engineering services for a project that we are designing Reaver Road, St. Michael Street East to Terracon Consultants Incorporated. Item 2, adopt a resolution consenting to the annexation of a portion of the two streets listed below, Floyd Crabtree Way and Fire Tower Road. These areas are bounded by territories annexed by the city of Sims. Item 3, approve a supplemental agreement number 1 with McCrory and Williams on the additional lanes for Airport Boulevard from west of Eliza Jordan Road to Snow Road. They're doing some additional traffic signal design for us, right there at the Whataburger, just west of Snow Road there on Airport Boulevard. It's going to warrant a signal there. It was not one that we were anticipating, but that area is developing so rapidly. It's changing as time evolves. Item 4, approve preliminary and final plat of the re-subdivision of lots 1 and 2, Minnie Lee Peru Family Division, and Lot 1 Henry Peru Subdivision. That's in Commission District 3. Item 5, approve an agreement with Alabama Power to provide 4 pole-mounted speed detection radar units to provide the power to them. Commissioners, we understand that these 4 speed detection radar units have arrived. We will be coordinating with Alabama Power to get the power connected to them in the next few weeks. This is in response to the issues we were having on Schillinger's Road, and we had some citizens came and spoke to us
On
about
last
their
meeting.
concerns.
Okay.
And we had been in an attempt back a month and a half or so ago to address some of those concerns, and they have come in, so we will be installing these shortly.
Okay, thank
Item 6.
Those won't be monitored or citations. It'll just show the people
No,
what
sir,
their
it's
speed
basically
is.
detecting
Okay.
the speed and reflecting that. Item 6, award bid for Joe Carl Road, South and West and Old Military Road, to John G. Walton for their bid. Item 7, approve right-of-way and or easement agreement for Track 22 on one of our 2018 pay-as-you-go projects. Item 8, adopt a resolution authorizing the acquisition of certain real property by eminent domain on one of our 2016 pay-as-you-go. This is that McDonald Road project from interstate, just north of Interstate 10 up to Old Pascagoula Road. We're adding lanes. That's that project there. Item 9, approve right-of-way under easement agreement for Track 1 on one of our, it's currently an MCP project, 3 Notch Corona Road intersection improvements there at McDonald Road and Gold Mine Road. It is also a 2020 pay-as-you-go, so we'll be hopefully bidding that in the next year or two, Commissioner, to do those improvements. And that's currently all we have, Commissioner.
I'd like to take just a minute, if we could, and talk about ARPA and kind of where we are with that. I know that we've gotten the initial assessments of the $400+ million of projects that had been recommended through our portal, and Volkert has gone through, vetted those, and determined eligibility, along with some input from staff on prioritizing projects and so forth. And I've done a deep dive into all that and looking at it, as I'm sure you have as well. I was wondering, where do we go from here? We've got this funding available. We've got these projects that are deemed eligible. Obviously, they have to be prioritized by the commission. But I would like for us to kind of get that a little more on the fast track. I see, I know that we have to obligate it, not immediately, but by 2024, and then it has to be spent, is my understanding, by 2026. And some of these are capital projects, and they're going to take some time to do. And I think if we're at the point that we can prioritize and reach a consensus on some of this, that it would behoove us to maybe move ahead on at least some of these and get the funding out there where it needs to go, sooner as opposed to later.
So we've been asked to submit our priorities by tomorrow to Volkert. And I think Volkert's, based on my conversation with them, they're planning to take what the three of us tell them and come up before January 31st with a list that's based on what our priorities are. I'm putting the final touches to mine now, and it's due tomorrow.
I was not aware. It's due
It's
tomorrow?
inside your book. It's.
Right.
Oh,
I know they're going to turn in a report, but I think it's a general report.
Oh, no, thank you for your question. We just had a meeting with Volkert yesterday, our weekly meeting. And my understanding is that the deadline is tomorrow. You should be getting an email, and Commissioner Leggett was correct. Once all three of the commissioners submit their priorities, what they're going to do is take those and compile a list. And if there are some issues where they need to do a separate pass, so you'll get the list, and if you have questions or concerns about it. So for example, they'll get all three of your recommendations. The ones that are initially agreed upon, right? They're gonna put those at the top of the list. And then this is just, but you'll get another view of it. So once you turn everything in tomorrow, they'll compile it, give it back to you to either approve or have questions.
I think it would be helpful for me, as opposed to just turning everything into Volkert and letting them decide and so forth. It would be good to share these with one another. I mean, it doesn't constitute discussion, so to speak, because no decisions are made, but it would give us an idea of the full scope of the priorities of each commissioner that may or may not end up on a list.
I think what they were gonna do is have a column for District 1, District 2, District 3, and put everybody's on there. And then that would have all your priorities, it would have all Commissioner Ludgood's priorities and all of Commissioner Dewitt's priorities, and then it'd be redistributed to you in short order to see it, but I don't.
Right, because I'm doing mine a little bit differently. I mean, we have a lot of different categories. I mean, some are water and sewer, some are disproportionately affected communities or whatever. And we only have, based on the information they gave us, as far as what needs to meet Treasury Department guidelines, about $59 million. It's not the full $80 million, because some of that came off in terms of reimbursable money from economic harm. So that, and most of that, a lot of that has already been spent. on priorities that came through our budget process.
Yes.
So we don't have 80 million, we have less than that. And then we've got to figure out a way to work in all these different types of projects that, and be fair about it. And so, I don't know, I've come up with a list of the expenditures that I think hit the top priorities. If I just put down my priorities, it would miss out a lot on some of the water and sewer projects and what have you, and I think those need to be included and considered. So I don't know, I guess I'm just a little concerned about, you know, how this is all going to come together.
I think it's going to be a little bit of a refinement process. Like you said, there are over 200 submittals. There are quite a few that are deemed eligible. We've got 3 commissioners with different priorities. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a refining process. You'll receive the second list that'll have what's made the first cut. And I think that will ultimately be boiled down to something everyone agrees on. And I think to further kind of answer your question, once we refine that list, Folkert's poised to move into the next phase, which will be either subrecipient agreements or capital projects with design development.
I think what I'm trying to say is my priorities are not just my priorities. I've included a list that includes your priorities too.
And
because-
mine includes yours.
Okay, and that's where.
I looked at, my standard was, is this a game changer for Mobile County?
Right.
And no matter where it was, no matter who submitted it, that's how I made the decision. So, for example, I think Wilma Senior Center is long overdue, and that's something that can transform that small community. That's on my list as a priority. So, and so it wasn't just District 1 or whatever.
Right.
And if we all approached it that way, I think what's probably going to emerge is
A lot of consensus
Right, among us.
on the total comprehensive package, because that's exactly what I've done. Because I looked at the initial submissions by your offices too, to Volker, and your top priorities, and included those. And, you know, as much as possible with the funding that was available. So I think I guess that's what I'm getting at, that it's not just what we submit is our priorities, but it's more comprehensive, because District 2 doesn't have that many water and sewer projects on there, but I've got a lot of water and sewer projects on there because they are transformative for these smaller communities. And so, you know, that's what I'm saying.
So with water, it's a lot, I mean, the water sewer projects could consume us.
All of it. Yeah.
So I'm hoping, and I've been encouraging the people in the delegation that I talked to, that the state needs to do a heavy investment, because we can't do it. We
can help. We can do initial, you know, very top priority, as long as it fits in, you know, with a certain amount of money. But like you say, it can eat up all the money but we've got to determine how much we can spend on water sewer, and then try to spread it as much as we can to these communities that need it. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at approaching it, without leaving people out. I mean, I don't want to leave, you know, give one community $2 million, and then other communities that are in the same financial position about being able to get things like that done, totally leave them out. So I think we can hit a lot of them this way, but it's not going to be huge amounts of money overall.
And same approach. The only thing that I would say about having a discussion about some of the projects that I've looked at, I think they're great projects and I would like to fund, but not to the full amount that's been asked. And
Oh,
so
no, most
that's
of mine
kinda,
are not
you know,
funded to full
I
amounts.
think that's where a discussion would be great, to start discussing, do we want to fund this project? And if we do, to what amount do we want to fund this project? And going back to infrastructure, you know, the Alabama legislature is in special session as of Tuesday, and they're about to distribute several $100 million worth of money. And so I assume and hope that our lobbyist in Montgomery is paying attention to that, and that Mobile County gets their share of that money as well for some infrastructure projects too.
That would be helpful, because that would come into what you're talking
Yes.
about with additional water and sewer,
Right.
because there's, I mean, you know, the sky's the limit
You could eat
apparently
the
on what
money
can be
up with
spent
that,
on that, so, you know, but anyway, I just kind of wanted to get a feel for how we were approaching this and, to be the most fair.
So what I think, it sounds to me like the conversation that you're talking about would be a good conversation to have once we've distilled it. Once we've gotten that first, the list back, that kind of shows where our priorities are, and we have a conversation, if we, if there's some horse trading that needs to be done, that we do it from a shorter list as opposed to the full one.
Right.
And that's what, that's the
I
next.
just wanted to make sure, because if we're strictly going off priorities for the district and not including a comprehensive list, then we're gonna end up leaving off things that really need to be included.
I didn't approach it.
So, okay.
Commissioners, would you like to meet prior to meeting with Volkert? And that way that'll cut out a step. And I apologize, when I said each district, I meant everything you submitted regardless of district, like all of Commissioner Hudson's projects regardless of district. I said district too, but I meant all of yours on your list and each list. So how would you like for us to communicate with Volkert?
So for me, I'd like to go through that process with us turning in our list no later than tomorrow. And then they take that list and see where we have meeting of the minds.
Okay, so the same process that's in place already.
But I think in terms of just meeting of the minds, I think it would be helpful to have a discussion on some of these that, you know, that we may need to discuss to convince, you know, that, well, this is not a good reason, an idea to include this because we, you know, this is a higher priority or more important, or, you know.
Okay, I guess what I'm trying to do is not to try to have a conversation about 200 submittals,
No,
but to have a conversation based on kind of the list that the three of us, when we did our winnowing down, to work from that list. And so, for example, I may have a project on there at, you know, 3 million, and y'all may say, well, you know, can we really spend 3 million within this time frame? Can we shift that? But it's within the context of what we decided are our priorities.
I think I would agree to get the condensed list instead of going off the full.
well, no, that's what I'm talking about. I think it would be a good idea to share that list. I mean, I would like to see your full list before Volkert decides where there's areas of consensus and narrows it down. I'd like to see that, and I'd be happy to share with you mine.
Is that a special meeting, or you guys can do that amongst yourselves, right? And just share each other's list? Or how does that? I defer to Glenn and Jay.
Well, I think everything that we submit will be on the final list. It'll just be, okay, Alta Point Beds is at the top because all three of us said Alta Point Beds. And then the further down you go into the list, then the one, you may have one vote, you may have said one thing, that will be further down. But I'm assuming everybody's.
But obviously, not every project is going to make everybody's list, and what I'm saying is, you know, I mean, I may be convinced otherwise, based on what somebody else has included on their list, that they think that that's a higher priority or more important. But if we just discuss what's, you know, what we have in common on the list or what we've reached consensus on, it may leave some of those projects out. That's why I'm saying it might be a good idea to share our you know, our comprehensive list and just take a look, and then let Volkert do what they're doing, but I'd like to see what all is on your list.
Do you want
And
to
I'd be
set up
happy
a
to show you
special
what's on mine.
workshop? You want to set up a special workshop because your final list will be voted on.
Are you talking about just email it to you?
You could, yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't require a meeting. And then when we do have a meeting, that whatever we need to talk about in that meeting, we just talk about it.
Right.
We just have a meeting with Volker when we're doing our paring down, trying to get to the
And if you
final.
have an item on there, if you had an item that you don't see on the condensed list, then that'll be a time to discuss that item.
Discuss why that
Why-
one is
Right,
important.
and just bring it
That's what,
back.
that's where I'm getting.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
wanted, I'd like to do, if we could do
Because
that.
I have some that got staff recommendations 0, but it's on my list. Because I'm planning to make a case for it. And
Yeah.
so that would be our opportunity to,
If we can do that, if we can share our list, send that to Volkert, and then have the discussion based on what they come back with. Does that sound reasonable?
so we're gonna, okay, so what we're saying, we're just gonna email each other, whatever it is that we're gonna submit to Vocal tomorrow.
Or I'll give you a hard copy.
Okay, me too. And so,
I'll make an exception for you on that one.
and then, once Vocal does its process, then we wanna meet together to go through that, you know, the smaller list.
Okay,
The shorter, okay?
all right.
And it can be within the context of a conference?
Conference,
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be within the context of, we just adjust our timing.
yeah, that'll work.
Okay, thank you.
You got anything?
No, I just want to, if anybody knows how to get in touch with Jim Nagy, I'd appreciate him returning my call. I've been trying to call him for 2 days. And if anybody's listening to this on live stream that knows him, let him know that I need to speak with him. Jim Nagy, the executive director of the Senior Bowl. Just wanted to put that out there for the public.
Apparently, there's an issue with the Azalea Trail Maids that they've not been invited, and they've been a part of the Senior Bowl program for a number of years, and I know I've gotten some feedback, and I'm assuming you have too, gotten some calls from people within the community wondering why they're being snubbed.
So,
to-
does anybody other than me wonder why I didn't get a call?
No, I mean, I don't.
I mean,
You know,
we're talking one call, okay, so.
I'm not talking one call, I'm talking several calls, and, I addressed this issue last year with the Senior Bowl. The Azalea Trail Maids, to me, are a part of our identity here in Mobile. I don't know where, the council cultures come into this, but I'm not a big fan of cancel culture anyway. They're a very diverse group of young ladies in our community that are white, they're black, they're Hispanic, they're Arab, they're from every Asian, they're from every walk in life. The Azalea Trail Maids have been part of the Senior Bowl since its conception, up until last year. And because of COVID, I accepted the explanation that was given to me last year because I felt like it was a reasonable explanation that it's COVID and we're social distancing. And this year, I'm being told, I have been told by someone from the organization that has nothing to do with COVID or social distancing, that it has to do with this is a nationwide event and their dresses bring back memories of a time that, I guess they're saying that an antebellum dress brings back memories of a era of slavery. And I disagree with that. You can't take everything from an era and put it in one box and say that just because this came from that era, that this is what they represent. And I don't think the Azalea Trail Maids represent that at all. So that's what I want to address. I mean, I think that they're, like I said, they're part of our community. They are a big part of our community, always have been. And I just think it's unfair to these young ladies who really, this isn't about the dress. It's about what they do. It's how they uphold their grades in school, how they agree to speak out against underage drinking and things of that nature, and the other things that they do in our community. And I'm not going to accept that from the Senior Bowl. And I think that the Azalea Trail Maids should be a part of the Senior Bowl. And that's what I want to discuss with Mr. Nagy.
So, Commissioner, some organizations invite them to their events, others don't. Don't you think they get to include who they want to include?
Well, I think they do, but I think when the county government has given them $165,000 in our budget, then I think that I have a right to ask why they're not being invited.
Yeah,
And I guess also I have a right to decide whether if they invite them or not, if I want to give them $165,000 next year.
yeah.
My choice, not yours. That's a
Right.
decision, that's my choice. Now, you guys may overrule me and vote to give them the money, but I can just tell you where I sit right now. If the Azalea Trail Maids are not invited to participate in the Senior Bowl activities, I will not be voting to give them money.
I guess I'm curious to know whether or not this is actually, I mean, obviously it was the Senior Bowl decides who is invited and who isn't. But I mean, I wonder if this is falling under the NFL, because this is really an NFL event. And so I think that would be an interesting conversation with Jim Nagy to find out.
And that's really what I want. That's really the purpose of me bringing it up, is because I want to have a conversation. And like I said, for 2 days, I've tried to contact him and he won't contact me. So I guess the only other option I had was to bring it up in a public meeting.
The Azalea Trail Maids have represented Mobile in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, many times.
They went to the inauguration of President Obama. I mean, so.
I don't quite understand myself either. I think you can look so hard at something sometimes that it becomes something that really, that it's not intended to be. And this perhaps is what's happening here, but they are part of the identity of Mobile, and,
Yeah, I just don't see how you can put everything in one box and say just because it come from this era, or this style of dress come from that era, so it represents a horrible part of our history and our country. And I just don't agree that just because they wear a dress that really is supposed to represent the colors of the azaleas in our city, and just because of the style of the dress, they're being discriminated against and grouped into a box that they're being boxed into.
is that why it's no longer North and South teams?
That's exactly why North and South was taken off, and of the teams are called something else now, so.
Well,
But I was told that, this is a nationwide event and this is how the country feels. Well, I don't, and listen, the Senior Bowl has a huge economic impact on our community, and I appreciate it being here, but I'm not gonna sit back and allow people from our community not to be involved in it because someone perceives them as something they're not. And that's what it really boils down to me, is that they're being perceived as something they are not.
well,
And
I
that
think
they
as a
do not
community, we're
represent.
proud of the Azalea Trail Maids, and I don't have any problem with them out promoting Mobile and being ambassadors, and that's what they've been. They've been for many, many years. And I've never heard of anybody else having that kind of problem with them either, so.
Well, the Azalea Trail Maids, this is not the first time the whole notion of Azalea Trail Maids has been controversial. This is not a new thing. It's just a new iteration of it.
Well, it's a shame that people can't just accept.
The same battles of
Things the way they
integration and all of that had to be fought anywhere else, also had to be fought with the Azalea Trail Maids. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when they got the first black one. And so let's not make this, it is what it is. And if people want to support it and invite them and they participate, then that's fine. But I can't sit here and pretend that, that the Azalea Trail Maids and its history is anything other than what I know it has been. It has evolved, absolutely. But its origins are what they are, Randall. They probably, when you were in high school, they probably were not even, they probably didn't even have Blackwells then.
But you agree, it's come a long way, not just Azalea Trail Maids, but everything. Educational system, everything. And that's the only thing we can do is continue to make things, to be fair, to give everybody the same opportunities. And we have to, at some point, move out of the past and into the future and continue to make it better. Not that we forget.
I
but we
agree.
just, but we can't let it constantly hold us back.
Well, I just say that I don't think it's, and I don't use the word fair, because when my kids use the word fair, I tell them that that's where you ride rides and eat cotton candy, but I don't think it's appropriate to punish these young ladies that are now Azalea Trail Maids for maybe what is perceived to have been
Or what was.
60 years ago, or
You know,
what it
there's no
was.
doubt, there was discrimination, absolutely. And there were a lot of people who suffered from it. And thank God, things have changed. And we're continuing to change, and we should. But
I guess we're acting, it's like me getting invited to a party and somebody has a party and I don't get invited. Do I have a right to complain because I did not get invited to their party?
And I'm not, but if I hosted that party, then yes. And I feel like we're hosting the party. And I feel like, yes, I have a right to complain and let my voice be heard. I mean, if they want me to host the party, if they don't want me to host the party, they can invite who they want. But if they want me to continue to host the party, they're gonna hear what I have to say about who they invite. And that's all I'm saying is we give them $165,000 in our budget, not counting, I'm sure that if I went through agenda for a year, we give them other monies for other things that the Senior Bowl participates in. So, you know, I feel like, yes, I have a right for my voice to be heard as the county commissioner because I voted to give them $165,000. Now, if I didn't give them any money, they probably wouldn't, I wouldn't feel that they have an obligation to call me back. But because I do give them money, not me, the county commission, which is me, then I feel like he's obligated to give me a call back and give me an explanation.
well, he absolutely should give you a call back.
I agree.
So keep us posted.
Just thought I'd throw that out. Thank you, that's all.
No, I want to have some more. What else we going to talk about?
Yeah,
What else? I mean, that's
warmed
fine.
up now.
If nothing else, we stand adjourned.
Okay.
See, I usually never say anything. I never say anything.
Oh, yes, you